We're all agnostic, except for my mom. She's Christian, and I know I'm a good person, and I personally don't need like a god to prove that I am. Not.
Good
Hello,
morning.
David.
Yes, what's your name?
Monet.
Morning. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So I'm asking all my writers wisdom. What's your favorite wisdom you've learned or been given or you've been used?
Wisdom.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have much wisdom.
Of course you
um,
do. You've gone to school
let's see.
or your parent from your parents or
From my parents. The only thing I can remember my parents saying is don't go into debt.
don't go into.
They always are, because that's why another reason my parents both have two jobs. It's
Okay.
because they have to pay off all their debts that they have. So that's the biggest thing that's drilled into me and my brothers. Just don't go into debt for stupid reasons.
Oh, so that's okay. And you've seen the impact because now they're working.
Yeah, they work a lot. So
Yeah. I was just trying to see if I've got little ones, and I'm trying to see if how that has impact, how them working and not does that impacted y'all as kids, and y'all.
yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, my mom, like, my dad worked, but he had to, because again, we were kind of broke.
Okay.
So he had to work and get away from home a lot. So it was my mom, but she also had to work. But she figured it out, so she was able to work from home too. So it was really good though. It was nice. But the working, it didn't really affect us too much because my mom worked at home. So
Okay.
she was always there for us.
So what keeps y'all's house intact, or what's y'all's source of solidarity?
Solidarity. Well, we moved around. Like I say, I'm from Washington, but I've actually moved around like all over the country because of my dad's work. Um, so just my parents are like really big into like family because once you move, like you kind of split ties with everyone that like your friends and everything, especially when you're at a young age. But they always say that family, you never split up from family. So my parents are really big into family comes first. So
Anything else? Any other? Where do they source their wisdom?
um, I guess just their life experiences. They grew up together in a small town,
Okay.
so they've always known each other.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, do they go to? Do y'all have a faith that y'all keeps y'all
um,
together?
no, no, not really. We're all agnostic, except for my mom. She's
What,
Christian.
what does agnostic mean again?
Agnostic means that you don't know if there's a God, but you also don't know if there's not a God, but you're fine either way. So,
So then may I ask, what, I'm curious, what,
yeah.
so I don't want you, what time do you have to be here?
Oh, you're fine. I'm
Okay.
just early.
Okay. So I'm curious if, so agnostic, I know there's agnostic, atheist, Christians, and all the other beliefs, right?
Yes, yes.
So if agnostic means again, come again, you don't care what.
You don't really mind, you don't know, and you're okay with the thought of not knowing.
So then what do you think happens when your body malfunctions?
Malfunctions, or like when you pass away.
Yeah.
So it difference. There's a difference for everyone, but me and my brothers personally believe that when you pass away, you're passed away, you're gone. There's nothing else, and that's okay because we've served our purpose, and our new purpose is to give back our energy to the earth and feed the earth and feed others. You know what I mean? Like once you die, that energy doesn't die with you. You like your body becomes food for like the plants and the earth, and then that fuels animals and other things and it helps
So then
people.
how do you, where do you, who guides or how do you find who defines your purpose then?
Our purpose isn't, we don't have a defined purpose. We choose our purpose. We choose what to do, and we have to trust our morals. And we were taught good morals from our parents, and we have to trust ourselves and trust them. And I know I'm a good person, and I personally don't need like a god to prove that I am. Not to say that God, like people who do believe in gods, need them to prove they're doing the right thing. It's just I know that I was taught correctly.
Okay, then who defines good and evil?
If you're hurting that many people, it's going to have a negative impact on you and yourself. Because if you cause other people's unhappiness, that like karma will come back to you. And I know it's like, karma is the wrong word to use, but it's just more like if someone, like say someone's unhappy with their job, if someone's unhappy with their job, they will like be unhappy with their life, and that won't cause progress. It'll cause regression, if that makes sense, like as a society, as a community.
But then what is that thing that everybody says, social construct or
Social
whatever?
construct, yeah. So
So
like,
you're almost predefining. It's almost like so how is that any different from an atheist? Because
oh no, I'm not. But
well,
if
but I'm saying, you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
because you're having I feel like who's the guy? Where do you quality check that? Like or even in this case, what was it? What happened? Like did we come from nothing? I think that was the questions from an atheist is did we come from how can nothing come from? How can something come from nothing?
yeah. So that's the reason why it's I'm instead of being atheist, I'm agnostic, because there are people because like there may be a God there, and I am totally open to that thought. I, however, I'm also totally open to the thought there may not be. So if I do like pass away and there is like a heaven or a nirvana or anything of that sort, I'm totally open to that, and I hope that if there is a God, he can see that I'm choosing the right things for myself and I'm not hurting anyone.
Like I said, I have my friend, my good friend, when I visited, I kind of find out that he's atheist, and he's a great guy.
Mm-hmm.
You run into Christians that are not so great.
Yeah, I think
So
it's just differences in morals and how they're raised and how they're taught. And it doesn't really have much to do with religion. I do believe religion is a big part of um, nurture, like nurturing and like becoming a person that you are. Because I was actually raised Mormon, but
okay.
I went away from that faith because it
Okay.
just wasn't for my dad grew up Mormon. My mom like became Mormon to marry my dad.
And so what's your dad now?
My dad is agnostic as well. We went through like my aunt died recently a
Okay,
few years ago,
condolence.
and it's fine. It was a while ago. It really threw my dad because she has really young kids, or she had really young kids who are now like 5 or 6 years old now. And he was just like, if there, because he's always been on the fence for a long time, but that really just, he was like, if there is a God, why would he do that to her and her family? Because she was like such an amazing person and such a devout Christian and such a devout Mormon. And so that was like kind of through him. I was before that I was not Mormon, but he was like, but because during the funeral everyone was like, this is God's plan, blah blah blah, which I was like, if that was their faith, I totally understand. I totally believe that. I respect it. However, it really hurt my dad to hear that because how he was like, why did God take away my sister, kind of thing. So that kind of threw him, and that's why he stopped having faith. And me and my brothers, my older brother is still Christian, but
Or Mormon.
I don't know if he's Mormon. We haven't talked about it. He went to BYU and
Yeah.
he had a terrible experience, and he came back just because he had very, very bad roommates that didn't have the same. I don't know. They had prejudices against
Okay.
people, which he didn't appreciate. Yeah, I've
What?
met some like the best people I know are Christian. They're the nicest, like Mormons. Some of them are the best people, but I've met also some that are like,
Yeah, it's a mixed bag.
yeah, some
Well,
people make
well,
bad
you
decisions.
mentioned, religion is great, but I think, okay, have you ever pursued, well, what's your understanding of Jesus Christ?
Next time on the Fresh and Spirit
Like,
podcast.
I want to ask my friend, which is a better bet? Is it a bet that we just shiver away like energy, like you're saying,
Mm.
or like is do I take a bet that I get to see my loved ones with my kids and whoever it is.
I'm not sure though, because I don't have complete faith in the Bible.